This is a 2026 Lexus RZ450e. What is undoubtedly Lexus's all-electric answer to the Tesla Model Y. And with a ton of battery changes for the 2026 model year, I want to show you how it gets closer to the Tesla Model Y, but stays perfectly in its own lane. My name is Chad. You're watching Downshift Pass. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and continue watching. All right, folks, now I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on the styling of the 2026 Lexus RZ because not much change. I mean, it's still the great looking car that they released a few years ago. This car gets a lot of attention too. I think this color is beautiful, the wheels are beautiful, and just overall the shape of the car is really nice, especially when you come to the rear here. Now, if you were to get the 550, which is going to give you a larger battery pack, more power, you do get a nice spoiler right here that looks really cool. But with just the 450, you don't get that spoiler. But one thing that I think is cool is you do get these little situations up here, almost like blades. So I don't know, I just think it's a really great looking vehicle. You got Lexus spelled out nicely, which is really trendy right now, especially with the light bar, also very trendy. Overall, I still think this is probably one of the better looking small to mid-size electric SUVs that you could get. And I also love that the grille is closed. Now, if you were to get the 450, a lot of these elements are going to be blacked out to give it a little bit of a sportier look. And then the largest change is just going to come right here. It's going to be the entire battery pack, battery system that Lexus has done to this vehicle. Now, for starters, this is going to be the NACS charger, which is going to be the North American Charging Standard charger is what they call it. To your average consumer, this is just going to be the Tesla plug. So you can go to any Tesla supercharger and very easily plug it in without an adapter. But Lexus did upgrade the battery and the thermal management system. So of course, like I said, you get this NACS port, and the charging speed as well as the range has greatly improved over the older 450e models here, because the previous generation was almost embarrassing. Now, Lexus says that the car can get up to 200, I believe 40 is what they quote, miles on a charge. I wish this was electric though, that would be kind of cool. But yeah, 240 miles on a charge. Right now I have the car to 100% and it's showing that it's getting about 226 miles at 100%. Now, to get in the car, hand behind the handle, it's actually a button here. So if I were to pull on the handle, well, let me close it. If I were to pull on the handle, it actually doesn't pull. So there's like an electronic pulley there or button there that opens the door. First of all, this interior. Let's focus. So yes, at 100%, it's showing that the car is going to get about 226 miles. Take a look at these screens here. Nice large screen here, small screen here. So right now it's at 234. I do have the AC off. It did take me some miles to get to my filming location. So let's say 234. So let's say 234 miles on a full charge. Now, of course, if you were to cut the AC on, that mileage does go down. Folks were complaining about that, I noticed, but folks, this is normal for an electric car. It's showing you the exact mileage you get depending on what's drawing from the battery. So with it off, let's call it 36 miles for a full charge or tank. Now, I do want to focus on this interior here because this interior to me is just beautiful. Now, the exterior of this car, as you can see, is a baby blue, light blue color, and the interior actually matches that. I think it's probably going to look gray on camera, but in real life, that blue really pops and it's everywhere. It's on the door panels, it's on the front seats, the rear seats, and it just looks really cool. And then on the door panels, you do have these lines that is actually in this material. You can't really feel them, but you see them very well, and they look really awesome to me. Now, as we move along to the rear seat, I mean, this is almost couch-like. These rear seats are so incredibly comfortable, folks. Let me step back here, show you the amount of space that I have. So pretty good leg room, knee room, feet slide under the seat pretty nicely. You do have two vents back here, two USB-C ports, and these are heated seats back here as well. And then of course you do have your 120 volt household style charger. Lots of storage space back here in the doors as well. Two cup holders in the fold down armrest. And then if you look above, you do have your panoramic sunroof. Now, I don't have anything over me, but as you can see, you can't really see anything, but at the push of a button, Oh, let me cut the car on. All right. But at the push of a button, there you go. You can see everything. So for instance, let's take a look at that building right there. If I push the button, it goes away. If I push it again, it comes back. So really nice that they include that. It would be nice if the sunroof were to open. I don't know what it is about electric cars and non-opening sunroofs. I would love an opening sunroof on every car, but this one doesn't have it. And then up top, that's just what it looks like, a nice glass roof. Now, of course, your rear hatch is going to be power operated at the push of a button, the key, or a button on the inside of the vehicle. This is what you were greeted with. So this vehicle sits between the size of the NX and the RX, which I think is really important for the purpose of this vehicle, because I really think it's perfect for city dwellers, city driving. I'll talk about that a lot more in the drive. This is what your electric charger comes in. And then of course you have your cargo cover here. And if I were to lift this up and lift this up, you do have some additional storage space under here as well. So nice storage space. And then on the side here, this actually lifts up to show you where some additional tools are as well. And you can actually do that on both sides. All right. Here we go. You have your first aid kit, which is Lexus is known to give you. And of course, those seats do fold down 60/40. So we'll just close this back up. Now, one last thing before we get into the drive, let's take a look at the front. This is an electric car. A lot of people are looking for frunks, looking for space in the front to put items. And does this car have it? No, it does not, but here we go. So as you lift it, as you can see, you do have your 12-volt battery there, and then all of your just battery systems here. So you do have a nice brace right there, which we'll talk about in the drive as well. But yeah, you don't have a frunk up here. And I'm going to be honest, I don't understand the need for a frunk. Like, is it nice to have the additional space? Sure, but do most people use it? With my friends who have EVs, I'm going to just vote no. I mean, it's cool to, you know, show off and try to use it very quickly, but it's plenty of storage space on the inside, plenty of storage space in the back that you don't really need the frunk. So you guys drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think of the upgraded styling of the 2026 Lexus RZ. Do you think it looks better than the Tesla Model Y or any of the other competitors? Let me know. But let's go ahead and take this thing for a drive. All right, folks, setting out here in the 2026 Lexus RZ450e. That is a mouthful. I don't know if you guys hear that electric noise, but I love it. Let's see here. I'm just going to floor it really quickly. That's in normal mode, as they call it. Now, this is the 450e. So with the 450e, you do get 308 horsepower, which is going to be the smaller battery pack. Lexus says the car will do 0 to 60 in about 4 seconds. I think 4.1 to be exact. And it feels every bit of that. I mean, this is an electric car. As we all know, they do have the instantaneous torque. And that is what this vehicle has. So once I get down this street, I'll be able to a little bit better show that. But as we sit here, I just want to start with one thing. The materials in this vehicle feel so premium. This steering wheel, I just find myself doing this a lot. It just feels so good. Such buttery soft leather. The seats are extraordinarily comfortable, especially the rear seats. I feel like they're unnecessarily comfortable. And then this the suede type material that you have on the door, not only does it look amazing, it's also soft and feels good. You do have leather pretty much on all the touch points here. Now, where the window switches are and things of that nature, of course, that's going to be plastic, but they do have it kind of with some silver, different material on it, just to, again, make it look a little bit more premium. This is not a cheap car, and nothing about it to me feels cheap either. Now, is it a little pricier than you would think? In my opinion, yes. But this is an electric vehicle, so electric cars just are not cheap unless they are meant to be cheap. And then at that point, you're not getting any type of range or any type of luxuries or comfortabilities or anything. So this car to me has all of that. Now, I am going to go ahead and put it in its sport mode. I love that Lexus has this option for frequently used buttons. So I could just easily put it in sport mode here. and I'm going to go a little bit in front of this stop sign. It starts to make a little bit more noise, and then I'm just going to floor it here. And that was sexy. Let me know in the comments what you got as far as sexy goes. Like I said, I feel like that 4 number is about accurate. That instantaneous torque just never gets old. Now, the one thing I said in the beginning of this video is how this vehicle stays perfectly in its own lane. Let's hit this corner here. Very nice through corners, relatively flat, comfortable, not too floaty or Lexus feeling like you would think. It's tuned really nicely for comfort as well as not necessarily sport, but you know, sporty intentions. But I want to talk about what this car is. Let's start number one with the range. Now, 200 and about 30 some odd miles of range for an electric vehicle that costs over $60,000 is a little bit, you know, it's pretty bad, just to be honest. It's not something you would expect. I think most people in this class are looking for at least 300, unless you're getting some type of performance model or variant of a vehicle. So in the low twos, it's really not that great, especially when you factor in, all right, I want to put it in sport mode. I want to use my AC. I want to do things that draw from the battery. So that means in the real world, you're probably looking at about 180, 190 miles to a charge, and that's at 100%. So it's really not that great. However, as I've lived with this car for as long as I have, it's been about a week, I discovered this is the perfect city vehicle. Let's start with the size, for instance. The RX350 or 500 or whatever it's called now, but the Lexus RX is definitely larger than this vehicle. And then you have the Lexus NX, which is going to be definitely smaller than this vehicle. I feel like this meets perfectly in the middle of those two cars. Look at this Celica here with the off-road. Now that is something. I feel like this car meets perfectly in the middle, so it's not too large for you to park in a city, and it's not so small that you and your friends can't hop in and just run up the street to go, you know, to the closest wine bar or something like that. I feel like it strikes that perfect balance, which is really hard to do in this market of or this style of vehicle. And I say that it's hard to do because a lot of these vehicles become just appliances. They're boring, they're and I don't feel like that's what this one is. This one gives you nice features. It's very comfortable. It's power when you need it. It's soft and demure when you need it. It's sporty when you need it. It really just kind of hits the nail on the head for everything that you need from an electric car. And then let's take a look at the range. Do we need 300 miles of range? It's nice to have, but if you're not road tripping this car, or if most of your errands are just going to be in a city like what I'm doing right now, this is perfect. Look at how I can maneuver around with zero issue. A lot of the let's see here. All right, a lot of the reviews that I was watching leading up to this vehicle, everybody just pretty much dogged it out. Oh, the mileage is terrible and this is terrible about the car. But as I'm driving the car, I discovered that it's perfect for, honestly, probably 95% of drivers. Now, sitting on the inside here, like I said, I love this interior space. You have this nice, massive screen here. You do have your climate controls actually on the screen. They do live in this space. They don't move whatsoever. So I do like that. But I'm not a fan of having climate controls in the screen, because if this screen goes out, you're kind of stuck unless you just, talk to the vehicle. This is going to be your climate control, your temperature control, excuse me. So that is an actual physical knob. 2 USB-C ports down here as well. And then you have one for data transferring. This does have a self-parking function, which works really nicely. It'll pull you into a spot as well as pull you out of a spot. Love that. The view button, is for your camera, obviously. Wireless charger, 2 cup holders. This is your PRND. Looks a little confusing, but press for park. And then this knob here, you press down to go in reverse, or you press down to go into drive. Very simple. Over here, you do not have a glove compartment, which is very strange. So no glove compartment over here whatsoever. And again, you do have a middle area here that is very, very small, very tight. But underneath this whole section here is more storage. So storage in the doors, storage under here. You do have some storage solutions in this vehicle. It absolutely could be more. I would definitely desire more in my own personal vehicle. But I think if you're not a person to carry a whole bunch of stuff, it's really not that bad. Now, although I feel like this is the perfect city vehicle, electric city vehicle, I would be remiss to not take a Lexus on the highway and see if it can do Lexus things very well. Of course, you have your blind spot monitoring system here. A camera would be nice at this price point. Ooh. Now that pumped in audio noise that you hear, you absolutely can cut that off. I do want to point that out. So if you're not a fan of it, you can cut it off. And you can cut it down. So low, medium, high, or completely off. I was annoyed by it at first, and then I kind of got used to it. It adds a little bit, I don't know, it just adds a little bit of specialness to the vehicle for me. All right, so here we are on the highway. As you can see, this car is, pretty fun to drive. I actually am more entertained by it than I thought it would be. But as far as it doing its Lexus thing, which is a nice quiet ride, it does that in spades. It's nice, quiet. The ride is very supple. If you're going over expansion joints, it handles that really nicely. It handles bumps really nicely in the road. Overall, it's just a really great driving truck. And I feel like it doesn't feel as teeny or cheap as the Tesla. It definitely feels a step above. The one thing that I'm really not a fan of is take a look at this screen directly in front of us that shows all your speedometer and cruise control information, battery state of charge, shows everything. This screen is tiny. If you look at the whole thing, it looks massive, but the screen is actually from here to here. What you see is what you get, and I think that is crazy. That's definitely a missed opportunity for Lexus, and I think in the next generation they're definitely going to have to upgrade that, because not only is it small, but the graphics on it are horrible. I mean, they look like they're from 5, 6, 7 years ago. So that's the one thing I think they should upgrade. You do have a digital camera for the rearview mirror as well. All right, folks, and just rolling into my final thoughts of the 2026 Lexus RZ450e 4Direct, which means it has all-wheel drive. Folks, this is an excellent automobile. I understand what a lot of the journalists are saying about the car as far as the mileage goes and things of that nature, but I just completely disagree. Now, is it the best electric vehicle you can get on the market? No, it definitely has its shortcomings. But when you look at what the average consumer is really looking for in a car, how they use it, the usage cases for most of them, this one fits the bill amazingly. I feel like Lexus, to me, is not going to just put out any type of vehicle just to say, oh, we're meeting, whatever regulations we have to meet for the government. Maybe they will, who knows? However, I don't feel like that's what this is. I feel like it's a solid effort, especially after the changes that they made. Now, the first RZ was a tough sell, especially at the price, but with the changes that they made to this one, it makes it a very strong competitor, and I think you need to add it to your short list of vehicles if you're looking for a more luxe experience from your EV. Now, if you enjoyed this video or learned something new, definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It will help me to continue to get more cool content in cars like this. And as always, I appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.